and it's me and Jen here. But how's it going, Jen? How are you doing?
Your audio is really interesting today.
Is it what's going
Oh,
on?
now it's good. Now it's good.
Is it good? Okay.
Yeah.
What was
It
it
was
doing?
very cave-like before.
That's so weird. Sorry. Well, anyway, welcome to the show. My name is Joey Galvez. I am not James Haick. He is absent once more, and we are here with Jen. And welcome to I Must Ask You a Question. Jen, how are you doing since the last time we spoke?
Everything's been good. I feel like I got to figure out a better work-life balance. I don't know if you've felt that recently, and I know it's been exacerbated by the pandemic. That what once was normal, where you could say, okay, I'm out of work and I'm not doing work right now, has been changed so much by people working from home.
Yeah.
Which even people in the comic book industry tend to do. We take home boxes of comics to price when we're sitting in front of the TV, which doesn't really ever allow you to fully disengage, which feels fine, right? Like, we love comic books. It's the reason why we do what we do. We're dying to go and dig through the collection that we just purchased. It's like eats at your brain. I almost feel like if I don't take it home, then I will not be able to sleep, because I'll be thinking, I want what's in those boxes. They call you in the middle of the night.
That is one of the biggest things is it's really hard to, like, when you love what you do and you go to bed, you wake up in the middle of the night, or you feel like you've been thinking about it all night long, and you have these ideas or these different things and methods that you can do stuff. That's the most annoying thing for me. Like, last night, I think I had a little bit of that. I was like, oh, these are the different things that I could do. Obviously, you can see I don't have my normal background where I'm moving into a new space. I had to put this up because the wall has got holes in it from pictures and things of that nature. So I didn't want it to be on camera. But yeah, so I'm like, oh, how do I do this? How do I make this place usable?
Oh yeah, I'm sure. So my part of my process is a little bit, especially when we're talking about making new spaces, is that I'll kind of go to sleep thinking about it and wake up thinking about it. And usually my brain has solved it in the middle of the night. So, so I don't know if that's very restful, honestly, but it gets stuff done.
Yeah, it's rough though. It's but rough. But man, this week's been absolutely crazy for me, Jen. I don't know how crazy it's been for you. And I'll talk to you a little bit about it here, but I want to know, like, it's been nuts with all these cool books that's been coming out with these last few weeks. How busy have you guys been?
So we've noticed it's a trend that's not a trend. So the way to describe that to you is that this Monday felt like a Saturday for the volume of business. We opened the doors and had huge amounts of people coming in almost all day long. It only slowed down at like 5 o'clock. That's not typical for us. Usually Monday is one of our slowest days. So we've kind of learned that the new normal is we cannot guess when our busy day of the week is going to be. Like, I think last week, our Wednesday was really quiet, which should be our biggest sales day, because that's when all the new books come out. But it ended up being a different day of the week, because that's just when people had time to come by and pick up their books. But it changes every week, so we never really know. It all evens out, of course, over the week. But that's kind of what we're seeing, is that, like, I don't know if it's because people are watching What If on Wednesday night and go, oh my gosh, I got to go get all my books in my box. Plus I got to go pick up anything that I thought was related to him. And so maybe that's why Thursdays have started to get big, or maybe they didn't get to watch that until on the weekend. So that's why on Monday we're seeing a lot of business coming in, because there's a lot of people digging through back issues. I think that's the most active back issue buying that I have seen in all my life in the business.
Wow. Well, yeah. There's so the fall and winter season is like one of my favorite seasons. I mean, obviously, because I live in Arizona and it's so hot, right? But one of the biggest reasons why is because so many amazing TV shows and cons and comic books and all kinds of geek culture stuff happens in the winter, and it all gets released. And obviously, I don't know why that all that is. It's maybe because everybody's inside and you need something to consume. But we got all these really cool shows. Like literally right now, I'm watching 5 or 6 different shows all at once. And there's moments where you're like, you have to like slow down and you gotta like, all right, pace myself a little bit. So I completely understand where you're coming from.
Okay, so I have a question for you because this is something we came across last night.
Okay.
My son had been watching the What If, which my husband and I are behind on. I've only seen a couple of them. But in the queue on Disney Plus showed up this, like, I think it was probably only a 13-minute short that says that it released in 2014, which starred Trevor Slattery in prison. But I've never seen it before. And it felt like, because of the content that was in it, that it was more related to what's going on now in the Marvel Universe. So I'd be interested to know if someone out there knows. Is that like a fake thing released in 2014, or was it released in 2014 and no one knew about it?
I have no idea what that is. So you'll have to send me a link to that because I didn't see that. Super interesting.
Yeah, there's a bunch of cameo stuff in there from, other people that would be in prison.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
In the Marvel Universe.
Okay. So you're talking about in the latest episode or one of the other episodes?
It's only a one shot. It's just a 13-minute one shot thing
on Disney Plus. Okay, so I didn't see that. What's it called?
Oh,
I'm trying to look and see if I see something. I didn't catch that. But you know what? I didn't catch anything because I've been so busy. I haven't been on any of that stuff. My son was like, "Hey Dad, look, they did Star Wars Visions." I was like, "Oh, it's finally out." I was like, "Is it out?" And he's like, "Yeah, it's like anime, Dad." Like I was like, "Yeah, it's so cool," because we were talking about it. I was talking about it on the show a while back. And it finally dropped. I didn't even know that was dropping. Now, there was so much more stuff that's been dropping and in the news. It's been absolutely crazy. So that one kind of slipped my mind a little bit.
Okay, so it does say that it was released February 4th, 2014. It's called All Hail the King.
All Hail the King.
But knowing what, I mean, if anyone's watched Shang-Chi, you know that this actually ties in. It's so weird that they knew where they were going with it that long ago.
Well, I think they may have. I mean, I think they kind of left it open-ended, right? A little bit there because we all thought that he was a Mandarin and we were like, oh no, it's a joke. How easy would it have been just to kind of just incorporate that and kind of use that? I haven't seen Shang-Chi, so I'm sure everybody's like, oh, watch Shang-Chi, you'll know. But I have seen some rumors and have seen some speculation pertaining to the fact that they kind of, brought that into the mix a little bit. I don't want to spoil any because I have an idea of what happened. I'm waiting until I watch it. But what's really cool is I don't know if you know that they're going to be dropping all kinds of really cool stuff on what they're calling Disney Plus Day. Did you see that one?
No,
and
I did not see
Shang-Chi.
that.
Yeah, so Shang-Chi is going to be dropping on, it's November, it says streaming exclusively November 12th on Disney Plus Day. And you got Disney, Marvel Studios Shang-Chi dropping. You got Jungle Cruise dropping, Home Sweet Home Alone, Disney's Olaf Presents, Disney and Pixar's Ciao Alberto, that's the Luca. All new short from The Simpsons. We got World, according to Jeff Goldblum, looks like a season 2 Star Wars special look, Marvel special look, and more. It says. So
okay, that sounds like a good reason to stay tuned in and keep your subscription live.
Yeah, I mean that's huge. In November 12th, the reason why I brought this up is because they dropped Shang-Chi in theaters for 45 days. I think that might be the 45 days there. And they're kind of talking a little bit about it here in another article that I noticed about the lawsuit between Disney and Scarlett Johansson. And because of that lawsuit and because of the pandemic, they kind of had to skirt things a little bit and kind of restructure the way they do their contracts and stuff. And now they're gonna kind of incorporate. They figured out a way with all these things that they've tried. They figured out some way to, I guess, make some of the actors and creators happy with that. So I mean, I'm really excited to see what they're going to come out with. But and really cool. But I still want to know: are we going to have to pay $30 even after that time? Like they didn't say anything that it's going to be free. They didn't say that it was going to be, on demand
Right.
either. So
Yeah, I can't imagine they're going to be able to command the whole $30.
right.
Maybe some other modified amount, like 15 would be cool. That'd be all right.
I'd be okay with 10, $15 to purchase the movie. Give me an option to, or what if they gave us a really cool like in-home theater experience where
Sure.
you buy a really cool package, you get a handful of things. I don't know what that would look like, but maybe you get some really cool swag with it or something. They send you some stuff in the mail and some cool stuff that you buy a little package. You get to watch the movie the same time that everybody gets to watch it in the theaters, but you have this really cool package that you spent a little bit of extra money on, collectibles, whatever, and that's more incentive to spend a little bit more money. People will spend more money and still be happy to be able to watch it inside the comfort of their own home and still have some really cool tchotchkes to, remember the experience, right?
Yeah. The thing that I think would be interesting to do is kind of the Alamo Drafthouse model where they have their early showing events.
Yeah.
Where they have, you're at the movie theater and there's a live broadcast going on where they're interviewing people that are a part of the movie, but they're not in the theater that you're in. So they could still apply this to a model where they have it on their streaming service. They could start the whole thing with, this is a live broadcast. Here's an interview that you can't get any other way.
Yeah.
And now, because I like lead-ins from the actors and actresses, give you some insight, and then do the movie, and then afterwards have some
and that would be a really cool experience. Like, listen, I would pay $40, $50 to have a personal experience to sit. I might have to sit in front of my computer or, beam it to my TV, but to be able to sit there in my living room and maybe ask the actors some questions pertaining to the movie and different things that I saw and actually have them answer them. I would be really cool with that if all they did was, prop up a camera in front of them and mic the actor. They're already doing that anyway, right?
Yeah, I think everyone's got an at-home studio now.
Right. So, but that's how it is, right? So shift with the times a little bit. Things change and they change for the better. I like that idea. Jen, we have an idea. We should not have dropped it right here on the.
No one will tell anybody, I'm sure.
Okay, Jen, I'm gonna tease some stuff here, and I don't think I'm gonna show the picture because I don't think I sent it to. I don't think I updated my assets yet. But have you seen that tease that they dropped about the new Flash movie with Batman with the Batman suit?
No.
You haven't seen this?
No.
Okay, so everybody's going nuts because somebody from the studio, I got to look into it because I haven't done all my asset stuff today. But I saw that there was somebody in a bat suit. It showed the chest plate but it was spray painted red with a yellow Flash symbol down the middle. Everybody's wondering if we are going to see an appearance, or does this mean we're going to see Red Death from the Scott Snyder run?
That would be way cool.
So everybody's flipping out about this. Like, how cool would that be? What do you like? I didn't get to read those because, oh my gosh, the tie-ins with all these freaking runs is so hard to keep up with. But you being a shop and LCS, did you keep up with that run?
It's funny because I was in a lot of competition with the rest of the staff in terms of reading things, and definitely all the metal stuff got taken over by everybody else because they love it so much. But I mean, just from the poster for all the different characters and the nice metal covers that they had showing the different versions of them, I was like, these characters need to live and have life on the screen. So I'd be down with that happening.
That's so cool. And so I really don't know too much about this character. So do you know a lot about Red Death and what his
Zero.
is he like a Batman? Because I'm serious. I don't know if anybody out there who's watching, if you guys know, if you could follow it, because literally I was on board with the main title, and then they started just like Marvel and DC always do it, right, with all those runs. It's just so hard to
Uh-huh.
keep up with. But yeah, it's I'm trying to pull up the picture, but I should have sent it to myself earlier. But yeah, it's really cool. Look it up, Google it, and it's super cool. Everybody's flipping out, and I'm excited. I'm wondering what the heck's gonna happen.
Yeah, this I see. So it's offshoot from the stuff that started in Dark Knight's Metal. It's the Dark Multiverse.
Mm-hmm.
In which they really did take two characters and smash them together, and there's some other really cool characters that came out of that. But he looks mega boss. I can't even imagine having the speed of Flash and the tenacity and
right. Oh man,
yeah,
and the gadgets of Batman. Yeah, it'd be so crazy. Like that's crazy. Like I thought the Batman Who Laughs was nuts, right? like that mashup. I thought that was gonna be crazy. But yeah, I mean, super cool.
And he's not a good guy, by the way.
No, he's not, right. but this is like, what the heck are they gonna do with this movie? They keep throwing us off the trail if they're doing any of this. Like there's so much like at this point, with all the stuff that they're dealing with with multiverses and time travel and all that stuff, like just give it to me.
Yeah, I mean, I like that they've opened up both of the universes to the possibility of that they can tell us stories that don't mess up anything about the main one. And they've done that really well for like DC for a long time, where they've tackled a lot of the really dark storylines and arcs for them, but done it in the animated way. So it very much, it tells you that they don't mean it to say this is a storyline that happens with the Batman that you know from the big screen, so they can, save their more, and not that character is pure in any way, but so they don't mess up their main focus for that character. They can do all the craziness that they want to do with all of them now for Marvel and DC.
Yeah, it's so cool. There's so much, there's a lot of really cool properties that are getting picked up and right now, which kind of brings me to another topic here, Jen. That are you a huge fan of Dune?
Oh, such a big fan. We actually just were talking about it the other day, and so my husband put on I don't think it was a super expanded version because that would take forever, but it was not the theatrical version.
Okay. Have you read the books or anything like that?
Full disclosure, I don't tap out very often in books. I really will muddle through just about anything, but I tapped out of Dune.
That's funny. So we got the director of the new film that he's going to be doing, right? What's his name? Denis Villeneuve, or however I can't even say it.
It's very French.
Yeah, right. I can't even say it. So this guy has not been tight-lipped with his thoughts on like the Marvel movie. Like he called it. He literally used the word Marvel movies are cut and pastes of other movies. And I was just like, I sat back and I said, this guy does know that he's doing a remake, right? Or a reboot.
Yeah.
Right?
Those glass houses.
Like, come on, dude. You are literally making a reboot about something that somebody had already done. Yes, he did try to go out and say and reel back and say, well, I'm going to do a better job because it's closer to the book. Kind of one of those things. Well, I don't think he said better job, but it definitely felt very arrogant in the things that he was saying. But listen, I'll still watch his movie. I'll still check it out because it looks really good and it's got some really great actors in there. And I'm sure he's a really great director. But I mean, come on, man. You're a director and you're talking directly down on somebody else's work.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, there's some really cool comics out right now. Boom started a new series called Dune House Atreides, which is amazing.
Yeah, it's like I don't understand how these creators and stuff like that can just be like so damaging towards other creators when we're all in this together, and it's all about love and experience and excitement and the excitement of going to a movie.
Mm-hmm.
Don't ruin that for anybody else. That's all I'm saying. It's like, come on, man. It's like
Some of my favorite people to follow on Twitter are people like Ron V and Zach Kaplan and Donnie Cates. I mean, their whole feed is basically them lifting up other people's work.
Yeah.
They're doing it right. There's no reason to like downplay someone else's stuff. It can be awesome too.
Listen, if you have that, if he has that point of view and that perspective, you know, he can say it. And if he needs to say it within your circle. But if you feel comfortable within that circle. But the thing is, to go on record, I just think we need to do better when we're in a professional setting and we're out there in front of the camera. We need to make sure that we are uplifting one another and not talking down. We can have our own opinions. We can not. I mean, there's so many comic book creators that I've liked one of their books and I don't like another. And that has nothing to do with who they are and what they've done. It's just my own likes and dislikes, I guess, for lack of a better word.
Yeah, I feel you.
So thank you guys for coming to our power hour.
Our TED Talk.
Our TED Talk. So Jen, I asked you a question last week, and this show is I Must Ask You a Question. And I tried to tell everybody, I was like, I tried because James is not here, and I tried to get you guys to let me change the name to Resting Beard Face, but I don't think that's gonna catch on.
I like that name, but
every time that I fill in, I think we should change the name to Resting Beard Face. So
or Crazy Redheads, that'd work too.
There you go. I'm married to a redhead, so and she's amazing. Redheads are the most amazing women in the world. They will back you up. They will make sure that you are in line, and they're just awesome people.
I think we should be just called Tenacious.
There you go. So do you happen to have any questions this week?
Yeah, I've been kind of wondering. So how did you get started in what you do for podcasting? What was the impetus for getting into that?
So what's actually funny is and I was actually a fan of, comic book men and stuff like that on TV. And I was just so hungry for stuff like that because I was getting back into comic books for in my adult life after not collecting for such a long time. And I was like, I need to consume everything comic books. And so I was watching Comic Book Man, and then I found out they all had podcasts, so I started listening to podcasts, and then I started saying, I wonder if there's any more comic book podcasts because they weren't releasing on a regular basis. So I was like, okay, I need to consume this. So I started looking, and I started listening to other shows, and I'm like, I could do this. I could do this. Me and my buddy, I was working late night in a dishwashing job, and I was like, well, I would drive him home. We just talk about comic books the whole ride home. And I was like, well, we could sit back and record this stuff. So I ended up just recording myself, grabbing like a $100, podcast kit on Amazon and plugging it into my computer. And I just went at it. And all I did was I was buying comic books, and I was like reviewing like 13 to 14 comic books every week because I was just like into it. That's how I got started, and then it blew up. Started my own shows, started my own podcast network. I'm working for a podcast network. I own my own network now, and now we're moving into social media marketing and producing video content. So super cool.
So did you see that as a path that when you first started, was that a path that you thought you might be wanting to go down, or is it just you just realized you're really great at it? It made sense as a career.
I'm actually an audio engineer, and I've been an audio engineer for about 10 years, and I've been podcasting for maybe about 4 or 5 years. So I was really into like the audio engineering and stuff like that. So I had equipment laying around already. So and I kind of know the software and stuff, and I would be making beats and producing stuff and things of that nature. So I really fell in love with audio production, and I think this was just kind of like a natural progression for me to
Mhm.
be into audio production. And I feel podcast production is so much it's there's so much into it, but it's completely different from like music production. So
Oh yeah,
yeah.
definitely.
So I want to talk to you a little bit. We got just a few minutes, but I want to know, how did you get your start? Because I don't know this.
My origin story is pretty boring. No, I actually didn't get into the comic book world until the early 90s.
Okay.
I didn't, my first exposure to comic books was there was a family that I used to hang out with. My mom was their mom's best friend, and they had a few ratty comics, but so I read those, but I did not fall in love with them at that time. I really wandered into comic books when I was in graduate school. In between my morning and afternoon classes, I would go over to this strip mall that was close to there, and they had a used bookstore, and they had a sports card place right next to each other. In the used bookstore, I went in and I realized they had comic books for the movie Aliens, and I was in love with that movie.
Yeah.
So I started buying them from them. And I accidentally ended up with more than one of the exact same issue, just from not paying attention. And so I went back to them, I didn't know the comic book world at all. And I was like, I bought this on accident. I bought 2 of them from you. And I said, can I trade it back in for another book that I don't have from you guys? And they're like, well, we don't really do that. And that was, it was like, I was like, what? Because I'm so used to regular stores at that point, right?
Yeah.
And I said, but we will give you I think they offered me like 50 cents for it. And it was like $1.75 cover. And I was like, all I could think to myself was like, I am on the wrong side of this counter and I need to rectify this problem. Because I was like, this seems like a dumb thing, right? They know that I'm not a big time comic book flipper. This was, it was a book that had been out for a while. And I was like, it seems like a no brainer to be like, yes, we want to keep you as a customer forever by letting you trade this one book so you come and buy multiples from us in the future going forward. And so that was kind of like, it started me there. And then I used to hang out at the ball card shop next door and collate sets just out of boredom. And he had like 4 long boxes of comic books, and I would, put those in alphabetical order and get those straightened out for him. So that was my first exposure to it. I've always loved retail though. I was going to be in retail no matter what. I might've been, a district manager of coffee for Gloria Jeans if I hadn't followed this path. But yeah, I love what I do very much. It started out with me just kind of like not knowing anything and me becoming an Uber fan. And
Yeah.
I'm in love with this industry. And although I'm certainly not at the very beginnings of it, having joined in 92, I feel like it's a single generational business at this point. Like there's not a lot of the earliest you could have come in is 38, pretty much.
Yeah. It's I love that. That's not a boring origin story at all, Jen. That's actually really cool. You found on a comic books just out of the blue, and you just fell in love with it. That's such a cool thing. I like the first comic book that I ever picked up. I have it over there. I'm not gonna get up and go get it because it's in a frame, and listen. These books are not worth anything. These books are like, I mean, there are variants that are worth something, but it's the Jim Lee covers of the '90s X-Men run.
They're beautiful. I love those.
So the five books connecting covers, and then you got the Mexico cover with connecting covers and all those ones are worth money. But these ones that I have, they're I'll probably get $5-10 for them. But honestly, but they're worth more. They're worth millions of dollars to me because it was the very first book, not that I picked up and read, but it was the first book that I ever bought with my own money as a kid.
There you
And
go.
I bought it in a ice cream shop that had the magazine rows, and on the very last row they had comic books and they had spinner racks. I bought it right off the spinner rack. In the 90s, it was maybe 2 or 3 years had already been out, and it was still on the shelf, and I picked it up. And the rest was history. That's when the day I fell in love with comic books. Like, I had comic books that people gave us and things of that nature, but the very first one that I bought myself, and now I own all 5 connecting covers, and they're in this really cool frame that my wife got me for one Christmas, and it goes up everywhere I go. We got, let's see.
I love it.
They are worth something to me, Facebook user says. I don't know who that is, but yes, they are definitely worth something to me. They are worth a ton to me. So, all right. Did we cut out?
No, well,
cut
it
out
said
a little bit, didn't we?
not on my end, but it says it's giving us sass.
Yeah, it's giving me one of those things on my end. You froze up for a minute there, and I had to keep rambling until you unfroze.
My bad.
All right. All right. Well, Jen, thank you. I appreciate you letting me take over your show again. I'm sorry if I took over the whole thing.
No, it's been a lot of fun. Anytime.
Yeah. We haven't. So I do have one big major announcement. I'm going to announce it on my show later on this evening, but it has not been officially announced. But the reason why I announced it on my Facebook page, Jen, was because people figured it out.
Yeah.
Like,
I might have let it drop anyway.
Oh, that's. I had people messaging me. They're like, "Are you doing this?" I was like, I was like, "What do you mean?" They're all, "Well, this," and they were like showing me. I was like, "Oh, yeah." So anyway, big announcement is that myself and my stream partner Ambrosia have been approached by Scout Comics and offered us a job as their social media marketing managers, and we both said yes. So we have taken over the social media, and we are posting on Scout Comics' behalf, and they are doing amazing things. It's an awesome job, and they are incredible people over there at Scout. I guarantee you, I'm having a lot of fun already, Jen.
Oh yeah, they're like family to me, and they'll treat you like family, and that you can't hardly find that in jobs that you get. So
Nope.
Enjoy it.
And they do some amazing things with working with the retailers and all that good stuff. So I'm gonna talk a little bit about that retailer side stuff this evening on my show, Wednesday Warriors. So so check us out tonight, 9 p.m. EST, here and YouTube, same channel.
Perfect. Subscribe, everyone.
Jen, thank you. We'll see you guys next time right here on I Must Ask You a Question. Jen, will you please let everybody know where they can find you?
Oh, mine's easy. Just find me on Facebook, Jen King. It's a really boring name.
But an amazing person. I appreciate you. I love watching your, even though sometimes I don't buy right there from your live shows. I love to watch and hang out with you guys because you guys have a lot of fun. It's really cool. So you guys check them out. Check out Space Cadets. All kinds of cool stuff. You guys got the experience. You guys got amazing stuff going on over there. Check them out all over the place.
All right.
Thank you, guys. Bye.